So I added this to Hack Notice. We added every single Escort site into our system. So if you're using our browser extension or anything like that, you can see when your Escort service of preference has been broken into, which it most likely has.
Very important if you use an escort site.
Wait, Hack Notice offers escorts?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
To topic number one, your car is spying on you and a CBP contract shows the risks. So US Customs and Border Protection purchased technology that vacuums up reams of personal information stored inside cars, according to a federal contract reviewed by The Intercept, illustrating the serious risks in connecting your vehicle and your smartphone. What do you guys think about the implications here?
Did they say what they can get from a car?
It was who's going into your car, which doors are opened, where you're going.
How do they know who's going into my car? Like that must not be my car, because my car has doors and it goes places. Brandon's car has no computers, so Brandon's car barely has gasoline in it.
You're right on the gas thing, but all cars since '96, I believe, have that OBD2 system in it, and I think all sorts of information about everything in the car goes over that bus. So your seat sensors. So if you've got a passenger in there, that's going to go over the bus to deal with the seatbelt light and whatever else.
So I would worry about this if I was in a Tesla, right? Because like there's so much metadata, or any other smart car. But I have a very dumb car. I guess I'd worry about this for the car that I get in like 10 years. I mean, it's gonna happen, right? The more you use something, the more metadata it's likely to collect.
Yeah, the article kind of implied that this forensics kit that this company sold relies on these cars grabbing all the data from your phone, including GPS data as you travel. So does it surprise me? Absolutely not. Yeah, and apparently this kit can go get this data easily. Now, what my takeaway was, and I was kind of clued in by this contract here. It was only 450 grand, which doesn't seem to be that much, which says to me, I think given car makers' history on security, this is probably very easy data to grab. So if a company can do it and they're only selling it to law enforcement, I think that's kind of bogus, and I would not be surprised if some hacker is able to make some homemade kit in the future, plug it into the OBD system, and grab whatever's in there too.
It's probably not encrypted. I will eat my hat if a car other than a Tesla encrypts user data.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure the CAN bus is specifically not encrypted. Yeah, just by standard.
Yeah.
I guess I would worry if I was doing something super shady and they could get like when I last stopped, right? Like it's like, oh, he drove 54.3 miles, so let's make a radius and figure out what's there. But I'm not doing that, and I don't care. So I don't think the average consumer should really be worried about this. If you're doing shady stuff with your car, but then again, what can you do about it? There's no solution here.
Don't plug in your phone. I mean, that's the simple. That's the simple thing, is don't plug in your phone. How many times have we been in rental cars and see the old renter like synced their address?
Oh, well, does it do over Bluetooth, or is it only when you plug it in with the cord thing?
With the cord thing, I would say that you're guaranteed to have all your data sucked in. Bluetooth, don't know. Very interesting. Maybe Bluetooth is would honor just the permissions you give it, like contacts, recent
So
calls.
I only do Bluetooth for phone calls and music, and it does ask me for permission for my contacts. So
Right.
that I either say that or I don't. If it is the cord, then we do have a solution, which is condoms. You can get USB condoms to make sure that only power, no data goes through.
Oh yeah. But I guarantee you that once you plug in with USB, all bets are off, and devices can suck in data.
Unless you wear a condom.
Unless you wear a condom, yes, yeah.
Put a condom
There's-
on your Bluetooth.
There's been interesting discussions on whether CarPlay will allow you to do that too. And maybe CarPlay and the Android equivalent. People are hopeful that it's safer because theoretically, I believe those are just used to display on your dash as a display for CarPlay, but nobody knows for sure.
Okay, let's move on to topic number 2. Brazil's Rio Grande do Sul court system hit by REvil ransomware. We are talking about them every week, but this is pretty new. Brazil's Tribunal de Justiça do Estado do Rio Grande do Sul was hit by a REvil ransomware attack a couple days ago that encrypted employees' files and forced the courts to shut down their network.
REvil is busy.
They are busy.
I think, like you said, like every week we're talking about them. It's not like they go make some ransomware attack, gain about $20 million, and then get drunk and party for a couple months. Next week they're right back in it.
Well, these disclosures only happen if the people they are ransoming don't pay. So it makes you wonder about all the other gangs that don't disclose often. Are they just making bank? I found so I was watching ransomware this week, and I was particularly interested in how many we got. And REvil makes a lot of splashy headlines, but Avadin hit like a dozen people this last week. So I think in terms of sheer numbers, REvil is not the highest. They just hit the highest targets in terms of like newsworthy targets. Like they hit the Apple supplier, and they also provide the color commentary. Have you read some of these disclosures, Brandon?
I have not.
REvil, at least one of the people that posts on REvil, he likes to joke around with his victims. And I mean, it is, he provides some very vulgar yet very funny suggestions to these businesses.
We have come to our working theory is that there are multiple people writing for REvil because their personality kind of comes through in different releases. And we want to meet the funny one, have a drink with them or her.
So I got the Rio de Janeiro hack cache from Hack Notice up on my screen, and I do not see anything funny in it. So this must have been the unfunny one.
This is the one that's all business.
Yeah. The one for the Apple supplier Qantas was all business. I think they really want to get paid for that one.
And that dude in
This-
Southern California.
Oh yeah, the SIBA IT director.
that
Did
dude
they-
direct.
Did they ask a specific number for their ransom from the court?
Why did I think it was
Let
5
me
million?
check.
Yeah, I think it was 5 million.
50 million. Oh no, that was Acer. Acer was 50 million. Yes, this was 5 million. REvil demanded 5 million to decrypt the files. Great. Well, Nikki, I think it's time for a bourbon break. Shu, what do you have for us?
So today I'm checking out Maker's Mart Private Selection Blueberry Yum Yum. Now, I got
Interesting.
this on the shelf at my local Total Wine here in Washington.
You can see Total Wine Washington on it.
Yeah, I was intrigued by this, and I'm standing in front of the aisle, and I'm trying to Google, trying to see any information I could on, trying to find any information I could, and I could not. And so I asked the dude there. I asked him, "What's the deal with this bourbon? I can't find any information on it." And Maker's Mark has this program where individuals or organizations can buy barrels, and they'll just age that barrel specifically for the organization. And apparently that's what Total Wine in Washington did. And they called this Blueberry Yum Yum. And which is interesting because Blueberry Yum Yum is a Southern dessert. And Washington, I believe, is not a Southern state. So
Jury's out on that, but no, I don't. It's south of Canada. Does that count?
it is south of Canada. If you go east a little bit over the mountains, culturally, it's pretty close. So, yeah. So let's see.
And this is an unopened bottle, right?
This is-
I just saw you rip
Here
off.
is the wax that I just ripped off here, and so
So we're getting a virgin tasting here.
we're getting a virgin tasting. The sales associate said it does sort of taste fruity. He was like, it's okay, it's pretty good, it's interesting, but didn't knock his socks off. So let's see what I think of it.
Really earning that commission, huh?
Yeah. But the dude was pretty knowledgeable about other bourbons, especially local bourbons. So I was pretty impressed with him. Let's see, 110 proof, 110.5 proof. Seared French Cuvée, Maker's Mark 46. Oh, this is the stab profile here. 4 stabs of rest.
Interesting. It is not cask strength, it's 46 strength.
It is, yes.
Oh.
So yeah, I think the stab profile is their shtick is that they have several stabs and they just like put it into the barrel with the bourbon. So 3 baked American pure, 1 seared French Cuvée, 1 Maker's Mark 46, which I love, 4 roasted French mocha, 1 toasted French spice. So dated July 2020. Let's see how this is.
Do you think that's when they put it in bottle, or do you think that's when they started the second aging process?
I think it's when they. That's a good question, but I thought it was when they bottled it. So.
Because I think regular Makers, correct me if I'm wrong, is aged for 2 years.
Right. Yeah.
I assume they re-age it for another 1 year.
Probably. There is no statement about age here, but
Is it a straight Kentucky bourbon?
Does not say.
I think straight Kentucky bourbons have to be 2 years. I believe it is.
Barrel with the
See,
10 and
Maker's
selected
Mark.
oak stabs.
See, unlike
So-
most distillers, Maker's Mark isn't satisfied simply by setting a clock. That's why we age to taste, not time. It usually takes between 6 and 7 years for the whiskey to be ready.
Well,
6 to
so-
7. That's pretty good.
yeah, that's pretty good. So let's see how this is. This is spilled a little bit. Looks like a regular, little slightly darker Makers here. Smells kind of like heavier proof. It is a heavier proof. There is a burn, not a terrible one, but it gets you. And I do taste the fruitiness of it. It is, I don't know if I would identify it as blueberry, but there is certainly a fruity, very fruity forward flavor. It is a little bit spicy. A lot of the flavor profiles we talked about before, like caramel, some of the chocolate or taste, I don't really get that with this. It is sort of fruit forward. So it's a pretty good bourbon. So, yeah, it's a very pleasant bourbon. Is it $100 bourbon? No. No.
That's the Bourbon Break. Well, Nikki, what do you have for us next?
Let's move on to the third topic we have today. Third topic we'll be covering actually came as a user submit. So it's a dark network dumped database. It's on GitHub, user submit, and it's all, well, not all, but it is heavily centered around escort sites being hacked. And we're looking at a lot
Government
of
sites and escort sites. So
Yeah,
you'll
those are
see a
government
lot of
sites.
these are government sites, which is very common. But if you show your screen again, Nikki, I'll let you cue that up. There's one file in there specifically called escort sites near the top. One thing that's incredibly fascinating, there you go. It's right under the threecirclechurch.com. Hi, threecirclechurch.com. Enjoy the press. But they've got like over 20 different escort sites. I saw like scottsdaleescorts.com,
Oh, I want that one.
phoenixescorts.com, san diego escorts.com. So there's got to be a few people that are pretty worried about this.
Oh, we need to get that Scottsdale dump.
So what's really fascinating is this is not the first time hackers have used GitHub as a way to disclose breaches or even a way to disclose ransomware. There was a ransomware that was open sourced sitting on GitHub that GitHub had up for, I don't know, at least a month. What do you guys think about that?
that was going to be my first question, was that, you know, when you're wanting to make a statement and kind of show your victims that you're meaning business, I guess there is no preferred way, right? Like there's no flow where you should be posting things. You shouldn't just set up your own leak
Scroll
site
back. I
or-
just saw that Dreams Austin 1 and Dreams Austin 2 was in this.
Get those too.
Dreams Dallas. Oh, these are disappointing.
there's a lot.
Get
Wait,
the Austin
Dreams
ones.
Girl San Francisco has Dreams Austin. That's just confusing. I guess for all the dream girls that moved from San Francisco to Austin.
So the Dreams domain, I mean, it's pretty clear what happened. This has happened before. We've seen this. It was basically one company that localized their content. They use the same platform, same code throughout. So it appears to be multiple hacks. When in fact there's probably just one vulnerability somewhere and allowed the attacker to get in everywhere. So yeah, so that's, I mean, that's kind of the thing, is that they basically got a skeleton key into the whole platform.
I think that GitHub's just going to accept it. Hackers are going to use GitHub. They're going to post stuff up there. It's too hard for them to figure out what is a hacker disclosing hacks versus what is legitimate code. I think that they're just going to have to do it.
Yeah.
Just accept it.
And those files up on GitHub, that is a MySQL dump of tables.
Right.
That's it. There's no way that a machine can say, oh no, this is bad content.
Right.
GitHub has to actually see that this is not good data. All
Even
the
the
attacker
most
did was like,
advanced, even the most advanced machine learning cannot detect that that's something that should not be on GitHub.
yeah, I mean, that was just a list from the attacker saying this is what we have, but it's code. Looks like 99.99% of what's on GitHub, it's code.
It's a terminal output. I would be curious. So I assume this hacker took a lot of preventative measures and uploaded all that through Tor, but maybe they didn't, which means that GitHub now has that hacker's IP address. So hey, GitHub, maybe you should take a look into this. Honestly, no one else knows about this. This was submitted to us by a user of Hack Notice. We went and we grabbed everything. We added it all to Hack Notice. A lot of this was brand new. We already had a few of these. So we funny enough, we had a few of these because we had seen the files back in November. So the hacker released some of the files in November. We got them. We already had those in our system, but a lot of these other ones were brand new. I don't think anyone knows about this. I think that the general media would be very surprised if a hacker was bragging about their exploits on GitHub.
Okay, moving on to topic number 4. Babook closes one shop, switches to RAAS, 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 ransomware as a service.
RAAS.
In a previous chat with a Polish blogger, a Babook spokesperson had indicated that after the Metropolitan Police Department of DC, they would no longer attack state or government entities.
So I think this story was bigger than what you've just mentioned. They're no longer committing ransomware. They said, we're done with ransomware. We're going to be a service platform. So I don't think they're actively going to go out and try to infect people anymore. I think that they're going to be ransomware as a platform, which means they provide the ransomware and they keep evolving it to avoid detection, and hackers pay for access to the platform.
I think that article broke down how much they would take, how much the attackers would take. How I find this story interesting because we talked about it last week with the Washington DC attack. Don't know if this story is related or what, or it would be interesting to see if it was related.
I think it is. I think they're the ones that broke into the DC.
Yeah, they definitely are, but maybe conspiracy theory says that they bit off more than they could chew or something, but it's
I think it's a testament to the evolution of a marketplace or a market in general. And cybercrime is very much a market that's evolving very quickly. They're no longer trying to commit crimes. They're just trying to be a service company for criminals. So I think that's a testament to the market itself. It's a $6 trillion market. And we've speculated that the first $1 billion ransomware gang already exists. If you're a $1 billion ransomware gang and you can outsource the development of ransomware to people that specialize in it, why would you not? Right? You pay a portion of the ransom to Babook and you just got rid of all your dev expenses. So
it's basically like selling shovels during the gold rush, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. They are selling shovels during the gold rush. They're the outsourced call center during the late 90s, right? They are the outsourcing or offshoring for hackers.
I mean, but let's be clear here. I mean, Babook, they're just as guilty and they're going to get prosecuted if they're going to get caught. But this model greatly reduces their exposure and their risk here.
So it's fascinating. Is making ransomware a crime?
I mean, that's a good question.
In theory, let's say you're a university professor and you want to study ransomware. Well, if you make your own, did you commit a crime? You haven't infected anyone.
I think the intention has a lot to do with it. And if you're Babook and you're making ransomware and telling people, yeah, go ahead and put this ransomware and collect money, and Babook is still profiting off it, yeah, Yeah, that's a crime.
I think
You're a researcher and you're just researching it. That's not a crime.
I think intent has a lot to play in US law, but we have to remember that there's 150 countries on this earth and there's 150 ways to interpret the law. And in some places, software itself is not a crime. And so it's definitely a gray area. If you are Babook, you could see this as a way to avoid the heat while still making a pretty tidy profit.
They definitely have reduced the heat. They're not the ones going into a network and attacking it. So at least they're that.
I mean, what if you were an independent contractor writing software and you accidentally wrote ransomware, Brandon?
Yeah, Brandon, you
Very
accidentally
specific.
wrote ransomware.
How does one accidentally write ransomware?
You tell
What?
us.
You're just making modules. Let's say they're like, hey, let's make an encryption module. It's like, okay. Hey, let's make like a file discovery and encryption module. Okay, that's fine. Let's make some sort of deployment module. Like you could boil the frog, if you will.
I mean, it sounds like some of my bad software at some point, like after I leave my current company, some of my bad software screws everything up, and I can fix it because I understand my terrible software. Is that accidental ransomware? Does that count? I
think that's purposeful, holding them for ransom.
That's the long con.
It's what we call job security.
On to topic number 5 we'll be covering today. The IRS wants help hacking cryptocurrency hardware wallets.
Hey, IRS, no.
What if they promise to do good with the billions that
No.
they're able to access? How much would you guys
We've done
pay?
this before. One, the FBI should not be hacking anyone. Two, the IRS should not literally be going into your wallet, digitally
Isn't that
or
their
otherwise.
whole purpose? I mean,
No.
I think this is. I don't want to. I would be close to calling it a waste of taxpayer money. I think, according to the article, what they want is not going to happen. They want some reusable tool to get into all these different crypto hardware wallets, and that's just not going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. There's a
Yeah.
guy that has like $300 million in Bitcoin in a hardware wallet, and he forgot his password. IRS, if you think there is a way to hack into these wallets, someone would have sold it to that guy for like a third of his Bitcoins.
Yeah,
That's a great point.
Yeah. The IRS was asking for a reusable solution that can be used for all different hardware wallets, and that's just not the way it works. You're not
That
going to get
will
that.
never happen.
That will never happen. The 0 days on things like Android devices and Mac devices or iPhone devices, they're specifically for one version of hardware, one specific point release of an operating system.
Aren't there bigger fish, right? Like, didn't Purdue Pharma poison a lot of people for like $3 billion? Couldn't the IRS go after them?
But they didn't do it in Bitcoin, where it's hidden and it's
right. So okay.
unattainable.
So I have two options: go after the mathematically almost impossible low amount of money, or go after the money that's sitting in a bank account committed by someone that's admitted to other crimes. Like the IRS should be going after high net worth individuals that are not filing their taxes properly and not going after crypto. I don't even think that crypto should be under the IRS's jurisdiction. I don't even think it should be under the FCC's or FTC's. one of the 3-letter agencies that does stocks
SEC.
jurisdiction. FTC,
SEC.
SEC.
SEC falls under something else though. Treasure. SEC is under Treasure.
The FTP department should stay away from crypto because it's not a stock. It's treating crypto like a stock is like treating the US dollar like a stock. Like if I hand you $1, that's not a stock exchange. That's a payment for services rendered. And the whole argument that it's like it's not speculative trading. Bitcoin is a coin, and I can spend it on stuff. It's not buying and selling of stocks. That's going to be way too complex and way too dumb of a way to look at this. Let's treat all cryptocurrency like rubles. It's a dumb currency that's probably going to lose value 99% of the time.
The ruble. Oh my God.
This has been an episode of Bourbon and Data Breaches. If you like what you saw today, please like, follow, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you saw today, fight those other people in the comments section. If you have a bourbon or a breach you'd like us to cover, you can contact us at contact@hacknotice.com. Until next time,